This video is a beginner's guide on how to deal with fireballs, and if at any point you struggle against a very good consistent fireball game and you do not understand how to properly deal with it, this video is basically for you. And also this video is not going to contain any character specific tools of dealing with fireballs, so you can basically do this with any character you want. If you play a lot of Street Fighter, one of the things that you realize that beats fireballs really good is actually jumping. But there is also a very huge knowledge check in that one that you need to know, or your jumps are not gonna work. When you play a decent Guile player, or basically any decent player that understands how to do a good fireball game, once you try to jump their fireball, they're basically gonna anti you every single time. And beginners cannot figure out what it is that they're doing wrong, even though they've been told that jumping fireballs is the best strategy to beat them. And this is very counterintuitive, especially if you're a beginner. And right now I'm going to show you what you're doing wrong here and what you should do to actually beat their fireballs. This is what's happening. Basically, players are trying to do the same thing that they did when they learned how to anti-air. And if you didn't know, basically to anti-air somebody, you are reacting either with a anti-air move or a anti-air button once you see the enemy in the air. And that is basically the same strategy that they're applying to beating fireballs, and that's where they're actually wrong. Because you cannot actually react to a fireball with a jump in, because there's simply not enough time to do that, and the enemy can anti you every single time. What you're supposed to do instead of reacting is basically make a read or a guess, which means I think Guile is gonna throw a fireball, and before he does it, I'm gonna jump. And that is basically you showing your enemy that you do understand how to beat a fireball at specific ranges. And that is basically how you do it properly. So instead of reacting to the fireball when it's on screen, you're supposed to jump when you think the enemy is going to throw a fireball. So basically before the fireball comes out, you should already be in the air. And that is basically the main idea of how to beat fireballs with jumps. Jumping is inherently a bit risky because they can simply choose not to do a fireball and anti you instead. But the risk reward is definitely way more in your favor, because if you get a single fireball read, you're gonna get way more damage that they get, for example, like anti-ing you 4 times in a row. So it's still worth doing that. Another important aspect to consider when dealing with fireballs is basically screen positioning. So you should never be full screen away from Guile when dealing with his fireballs, because once you jump in, you basically pose no threat to him, and he can still continue throwing fireballs literally all day because you cannot do anything. And the main goal in that case is to actually gap close and to get in a position where you actually can threaten their fireball with a jump. And to add to that point, another important strategy that you need to know when dealing with fireballs is called bulldogging, which is basically you walking down the enemy to the corner and blocking. So all you do in this strategy is just walk forward and block when you think the fireball is coming. And the main idea behind this strategy is to get your enemy to the corner as close as possible, where even blocking becomes a risk. And that way you're forcing them to take way more risks and play more risky. But this strategy is way more effective once you do it in combination with jumping the fireball properly. And that'll be it for this video. And if you like this content, please hit that like and subscribe button, or check out one of my other tutorials that I did on this channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.